Hello, and welcome to the Canny Valley Homebase Endurance AFK build for your Storm Shield defense. And yeah, we're working on the main Homebase this time, building an AFK build that you can use in Endurance. So we're going to start with the west direction over here, which is a pretty simple build, thankfully, compared to Twine Peaks. The Canny Valley build is fairly simple, so we're going to have enemies spawn all around this bottom area down here. Now, you could build a massive, sheet above their spawn that drops traps on them, but that's not really that efficient. What we can do is we can just stop them from coming up this bit and make them all come up this little hill here. Now, the beauty of this hill is that we can use tire traps to drop damage on them constantly as they come up. So yeah, what we want to do is limit them to this side. This side here will be blocked off. And then we'll just bring them to a path towards the shield there. We want to avoid building too close to it, because if we build close to the storm shield, the smashers will charge because they want to get rid of, any structures that are near the storm shield. So we avoid doing that. What we can do here at the top is, well, we want to block this anyway because we don't want the enemies coming up. But what we can also do is if we build the floors like so. If this ends up not working for you, by the way, you can alternate and do it that way. Sometimes it does depend on the person's storm shield. Things can get a bit weird in Save the World. But what we want to do is then build low walls here. Like that. And then a full wall behind. So what we're doing here is, this is the start of the trap tunnel. So we need to do a lot of damage here. So what we can do is we can put wall dynamos here, wall darts at the back, and then ceilings here can have zap traps on, which will affect the enemies coming through the tunnel. Now, what we also want to do is get a bunch of tire traps. You could even go one further and put it there if you want. It depends how things are going for you. You might not necessarily need the end ones. We'll keep them in for now, and then if we need structures back, I think we should be fine, to be honest. Then we want to just add a bit of an extra protection here. I thought I placed an extra thing down, but we're good. So yeah, just a bit of extra protection. Actually, no, this isn't needed, sorry. You don't need that there. We do want the wall there, though. But enemies won't be able to actually get up there because there's no ramp for them to get up there. So we don't need to block them or anything. Just this wall here. And then if we do it to the other side, what we can do between them is get some traps going that will get triggered. I think there might be a little bit too out of range. I don't think they'll get picked up. So we'll avoid putting them there. But at least with this, what we've got going, we can get plenty of damage going as they come in. And then if we continue the trap tunnels round, we want this to be a full wall because we're going to put a wall launcher on it. Same here, we want a full wall. What we can do, though, is build a low wall there. And then here, let's see, we can do a full wall here. And there. And then that's pretty much it for what we're going to be building in this area. Apart from this here, we want that to be like that. Full wall, and then we can just do the same trick with... Whoops, that was meant to be a floor. We can do the same trick with the floor to stop enemies from trying to break through and out of the trap tunnel, to go round. That will just stop them from doing that, but we can contain them in and do huge damage by putting, again, wall darts there and a wall dynamo there. So at this point, I mean, they're going to have so much damage, applied to them that they're not going to make it this far. The only thing that could potentially make it to this point would be smashers. So, I mean, at this point, if the smashers made it here, they're going to have had to get through all of this stuff, all these here, and all of the wall launchers sending them back out. So you shouldn't get that, and we'll also mitigate it with the traps that we put on the floor. So that should do it for this side of it. What you could potentially do is put an extra wall here and have another trap for the smashers that might make it that far. But again, I don't think you should be worrying about that. You should be fine. What we need to do is just reinforce a bit of this. So over here, this is obviously part of the trap tunnel. Now, we want to do this. Just to stop anything from trying to break out here and go around again to the storm shield. We can't do it here because if we start building here, this is too close to the storm shield and smashers will try go for it. But at least with that one, it stops enemies from trying to break out of the trap tunnels. Potentially, you might want to do this here and do that to stop them from trying to break through this wall. It's a nice little extra protection there. But that should cover what you need for there. Now, for like flingers and lobbers, you could place some anti-air traps here. So you could put like 4, maybe even like 6 anti-air traps here. If you have, anti-air traps that you have leveled up with really good perks, that'd be the way you want to go about it. If not, well, that's what I'm going to do anyway. And then, on top of these trap tunnels and so on. But if you don't have that, what you'd want to do is just build, 2 up and just drag that across this entire thing just to stop any flingers or lobbers from being able to attack the base. If you are having problems as well with anti-air here, it might mean that your traps just aren't high enough or you don't have enough placed down. So you can place some more down like on there, over here somewhere, or over there. Or you could just go ahead and build the flinger shield, whichever way works best for you. Again, some of these things vary depending on the actual base. Now, down here, we want to build absolutely loads of mitigation here to stop things from being able to get up this way. Because they're going, the stuff that spawns like this side, instead of having to go all the way over there, they're going to want to come through here. So we need to block that off, which works nicely by having that. And then if we have a cone on top, and then at the top here, if we just get a bit of extra blockage round like that, and then just with your cones, just basically make them all point towards the middle. And make sure you've got walls in every position. And there we go. So this nice little contraption with all these pointing towards this block, because this is where they're going to be coming up, or at least trying to come up, and then just obviously blocks around the edge to stop anything from being able to do so. Now, again, here you might get a bit of noise, a bit of huskage that you don't want. So what we can do here is put some more traps, electric zap trap to catch anything coming round. Or you could build up higher like that and put a tire drop trap, on that, which will do the same sort of thing, but it'll also push them back a bit. If you are having issues, just switch between the two. But I'm going to build the zap there, so that should cover that. And then the final thing we need to do is just block off this area. So starting at the bottom of these stairs, we just need to block off basically all the way over there, and probably one there as well, just to cover that. Yeah, that's pretty much it, I think, for all the structures. The only thing left to do is to put the actual traps down. Now, you might need a bit of extra blockage here just to stop things from really wanting to go out. Like if you start seeing stuff try to break out, you can put an extra sort of layer of stuff here. I don't think you will need it, especially if you have very high level traps. If you are starting out in Canny Valley, you might not have the top traps, at which point smashers might be able to make it through your tunnels, which would be unfortunate. And if that is the case, then I would recommend probably trying to use a bit of extra blockage around the outside of the trap tunnels. Now, something that you could probably get away with doing here as well is putting a wall there and putting some traps on here, which I think we'll leave that there. Husks can get underneath. If you start seeing stuff hitting this, that might be where you want to sort of think about that and just remove this if you are seeing issues with it, but I don't think you will. And then finally, what we want to do is just build a bit of extra space for the husks to have to go around. So make them make a bit of a longer path by doing this, and then one here as well, like that. It just means the husks have to travel a bit further in this area and this area. And you can even do one there as well. just to give it that extra bit of length. If you do if you do start seeing smashers, go for this. You could just get rid of them, and that hopefully should work out nicely for you. If I can just edit this back, lovely stuff. And yeah, that's it for the structure. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the traps now and the perks that go with it that I have used, that I recommend to use, and then I will show the placing of them as well after leveling all this stuff up. So I'll see you in a second. Thank you so much for watching to this point. If you are enjoying the video, please do let me know in the comments. But also, I am on the supporter creator program, so if you could please use my code CAMIG, and be sure to subscribe as well to get all future videos. Thank you so much. The anti-air trap 1 range on there for durability. Ceiling drop trap, so we're going for a crit build on this one as well. Ceiling electric field, we're going for a crit build once again, you know it. Floor freeze trap, so for this one we've got 2 impact and knockback. Floor launcher, so for whacking all the impact and knockback on there. Tar pit trap, so for this one I like to go for full durability. Wall darts, another crit build, another all-rounder build. The wall dynamo trap, so for this one I've gone for energy. Wall launcher, so for this one we've got 3 impact and knockback. Wall lights, so another 3 impact, 2 reload speed. Wall spikes here, we've gone for crit build, so 2 crit rating, 2 crit damage. Wooden floor spikes, so crit build on this one, that's pretty much off. Now that you've leveled up your stuff, you don't have to, obviously, before placing the traps, but I find it easier, so I do recommend it to people. Now we can start putting down the traps, so I'm going to start here, actually, with the anti-air. So obviously, if you're not doing anti-air and you're looking more to make a lobber shield, you won't be placing these down. You'll have, a sheet here that will cover them. Then down here, if I can get to the trap, because I have plenty of other traps, we want the wall spikes and then a zappy boy there. So this will affect them when they're here. As they get closer, they'll get hit. They'll get attacked by that and that. So they'll end up dying anyway. If you do end up getting any issues for whatever reason, maybe you... Whoops, didn't mean to place that. Hello? Can you get rid of? Thank you. If you do end up having issues for whatever reason it is, maybe you're just getting an unusual amount going to it, going to this place, try to break through. If you do get that, you can just add some more traps. So what you can do is you can just place a wall there, put some broadside on that one. In fact, actually, I'm going to do that, I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to put that there, and I'm going to put broadsides on them, just to show you that I back the advice that I give. Yeah, it's going to do way more damage than previous. You just probably need to block off this area too to make sure they can't sneak through the corner there, which I don't think they can anyway. Like, I don't think the AI is smart enough to do that, but just on the off chance it does manage to wiggle its way through, you don't get stuck with any awkward, husks making it through that they shouldn't be. Then up here, yeah, we don't need any traps there. As we come through the entrance, we want some tire traps, some tire drop traps. So make sure you're facing into the tunnel as you place this, as that will mean the enemies get knocked backwards and back out. We want one there as well, and there. These will all fall all the way down, dealing damage to everything as it comes down. Then in the main trap tunnel here, we're going to put a ghast there, and one there. Yeah, we'll go for gas on all of these ones. And then in the rooms that we have to the side, that's where we'll put the zap traps, because these will zap everything that comes through. If you want, you can change some of these out, especially the early ones for zaps, just to affect more enemies, but it's really not that necessary. At the entrance here as well, we want some broadside traps, so I think 133 should be good enough. Sides here and one at the back. This one will ping in and back and forward here, which will be beautiful because it'll apply impact, which will slow stuff down, as well as doing damage. Back here we want a wall launcher, and I'm not going to put a wall launcher here. I don't think we should have one there. This one's very useful because it'll knock stuff back out of the tunnel all the way down there. This one's like a second, backup for like the smashers that make it to this point. It'll send them here. This one will send them back out. They'll be getting damaged throughout the whole thing, and that will be awesome. Over here, we probably want, let's see, I think I'm going to go for a dynamo here. The reason being for here, in fact, can we do extra damage if we do this? We can, can't we? If we do this edited as a floor instead, to stop enemies coming through that way, we could actually put a few extra traps. So sorry about the edit after the fact, but if we do that and then wall dynamo there, we can get a bit of extra damage, and then we can also put a zap field there as well, which is awesome. So on the rest of these short walls, we want wall dynamos on all of these, so go ahead and place those down. Then at the back of these rooms, we want wall darts to... Hello? Can I place them down, please? Thank you. Why is it being so fussy with me? Let me place them down. Thank you. And on both of these as well. And did I place one? Yeah, I placed one there already. And this one, we are going to do broadside. Perfect. So look at all that damage in here. Absolutely beautiful stuff. All we've got left is the floor. So for the first one, we're going to go for floor spikes to do as much damage as we can. For the next one, we're going to go for freeze, which could potentially push them back a bit. And then on the last two, what we're going to do is tar pit, because this is basically just for smashers at this point. It's the only thing that's going to make it to this place, if anything. And that will just stop them from being able to do any, any charging, because it actually stops smashers when they're charging, which is absolutely beautiful. I love the fact that it does that. So yeah, that's all the traps you needed for that bit. We've covered there. Again, if you're having issues with lobbers, just place a shield over the top. If you're having any issues with things making it up here, which at this point, like, come on, you shouldn't. They're not going to make it up. There's so much stuff here. You can add another layer of, tire drop traps there, but you're really not going to need it. So yeah, that's it for the west build. We're doing the south direction. So for the south, they're going to spawn in this area over here, mostly down in that sort of pit area down there, with the annoying gas canister that always respawns every time I load back into this area. So what we're going to do is we're going to block off this area over here and bring them through an area here where we can damage them similar to how we did in the other one. So what we want to do is build them across here like this, and then we're sort of going to zigzag like that. Look at this efficient use of space, eh? So, yeah, basically, that's all that you need, really. And then we're going to build across here to stop the enemies from bypassing our, trap tunnels. We don't want them to bypass the trap tunnels. Build the walls up. So this is the area they are going to be coming in. So we don't want to build too much in the ways of walls here. So yeah, by doing this, we can then sort of do the same sort of trick we did in the other one, where we build these low walls with full walls behind them. And if we build the floor in a specific way, like so, that will stop enemies from breaking through, because if they broke this wall, they'd have to break through this floor as well, and then the wall, it'll stop them from doing that. Similar at this side, we can do the same sort of thing with low walls like this, making sure that we don't need a wall there. And yeah, we're going to bring them through. We can do the same thing with the low walls here, with full walls behind, like so, making sure that we get everything just perfect how we need it to be, like that. That voice break. So as the enemies come through, we can obviously attack them with all this stuff. We want to get the floors built as well. Probably the opposite way here, actually. Sorry, like that. No, I've just built it the same, haven't I? Like that. And then we will need a wall, and then again. It always confuses me when I make floors like that. Try to figure out which one needs to be built and which one needs to not be built. So I think it's like that. Yeah, we're starting to get the hang of that now. That will stop the enemies, from breaking through, because then they'd have to get through this wall to get towards the storm shield. We start to put some ceilings here as well. So the beauty of doing it like this is these areas where we have this bit, we can put wall traps there, but we can also put zap traps, the ceiling zap traps, which will damage the enemies as well. Now, we want to avoid building anything this close to the storm shield. The corner here is fine because it's technically not connected to it. But if you build anything there or there, you will get smashers trying to break it. So we can't build anything there. So this is as far as we can go. But there's plenty of room here to do damage. Don't worry about that whatsoever. We can also get some more ceilings here to do even more damage. And, if you really want to, if you're experiencing high pressure from the husks, they're trying to force themselves upon you, you can go ahead and put even more further out if you want. But I really don't think you're going to need that. One other thing I like to do in this area is either put a wall there or maybe there. And what we can do with that is put broadsides on them and they'll ping back and forward. I think there's best just because they tend to try break through this one here. Now, having this extra bit as well as the ceiling trap will really stop them from being able to do that, which is, what we want to do. You can also do the same here if you want to. You can put broadside there, put damage across, and it will hit anything that does try get through, these back bits here. Back beat is on the street. Now, speaking of this back bit, what we want to do is build floors all the way around, and what we're going to do is edit them close to the walls we've built. The reason being is we need to really stop the husks from wanting to try, circumvent our trap tunnels here and go through the middle. So we need to add extra protection. Make sure you wear protection. So we put these like this all the way around and make sure you build walls in every section to section it off. If you don't, you may experience high volumes of husks. Now, if we do the same here, one more time, make sure you add a wall at the back as well. So this is what it'll look like. Obviously, it's quite a lot, but, we need that protection. We need the enemies to not break through here, so it gives us that extra bit that we need. Also, over here, we might want to add a little bit of extra wall there. We don't need the side one because, where they're going to go down there? Yeah, who cares? Just the back one. And then similarly here, we might want an extra bit of protection. We are allowed to do this here. Reason being is, like over there, it's to the corner, so it's fine to build there. This will just give that extra stop of smashers trying to smash through this bit because they've got an extra bit to go through. It's probably not necessary, this one. It's up to you. You can get rid of it if you want. That's totally fine. I will not be offended. I will not cry. Do not worry. And I think that covers everything we need to build. Potentially what you might need to do is just add a little bit of blocks here to put the anti-air traps on. So you can put some here, and then across here. I'll go over it in the traps, don't worry. But if you, again, like I did with the other direction, if you don't have anti-air traps leveled up with good perks and stuff, or if you are experiencing issues with flingers, because the waves can be long in endurance, you'll probably want to just build a flinger shield, which you can start from here, just where this bit ends. You can just start building up. You probably want to go just 2 high, maybe 3 if you're really paranoid, but you shouldn't have trouble with that. You should be all right. And we can put anti-air traps on all of these bits to cover that. So that's the structure. So now that the structure's down, what you can do is go ahead and level it all up. Cool. So now that we've got everything leveled up, but again, you don't have to have everything leveled up before putting traps down, but I find it extraordinarily easier to do it once they are all placed down. What we want to do is put some spike traps up here. We tend not to get them try come through all of them. It tends to mostly be the edge ones. You can put them on all of them if you want. I'm just going to put it on the corner one, and then what I'm going to do over here as an extra mitigation is put the broadside traps. So if anything does try go for these two, the broadside traps will take care of it, basically. And then at this side, broadside traps again over here. The reason being that these will ping back and forward. In fact, actually, no, for this one we'll put... oh, I can't break this. Hello? Just not allowing me to... Okay, cool. For this one, we'll actually do... Oh my god, there's so many broadside traps in my inventory. We'll do a wall launcher, actually, because we want to send them out of the trap tunnels. But this one will ping back and forward still. So it's beautiful to have that also. Then for this one, I'm not sure what trap would be useful here. Probably wall darts, if anything. I think because, you know, it'll affect stuff walking up this bit here. Anything else, I don't think it's really going to do much. This one, we definitely want a wall launcher on for that one. As we come in, we want... Oh, that's 106. Whoops, it is. We don't want 106. We want 130. Want wall floor spikes even on the floor. And then I'm thinking floor spikes for this one as well. And then as we get further in, we will do freeze trap, and then at the very end, we will do tire trap, tarpa even. I always get those two words mixed up because I'm stupid. This will stop the smashers from being able to charge if they, should they make it that far. Over here, what we're going to do on this one is a ceiling zap, and also a ceiling zap here. You could put a tire. See, I've done it again. You could put a tire drop trap there, but not many husks are actually going to come up that bit, so at least that'll get triggered. And then on these front two, I think this is where it would be good to put the tire drop traps. I said it right that time. Thank you. Everyone applaud me. At this point, the thing that's best to go here would be wall darts, I think. You could go for broadside if you wanted. It's probably too far for it to bounce off that effectively. So that's the reason I'm not going for broadside there, even though I do advocate the broadside trap immensely. Now, as far as ceiling traps go, I think the first one would be useful to have as a zap. And then as we go through, I'm going to go for gas there and gas there. But everywhere else, we're going to put the ceiling electric field. Even the ones here that are actually in the traps. The reason being is these two see more of the trap tunnel bit than this one does, for example. You know, this one covers that one, and that one. This one covers that. You know, this one only covers, like, these two. So I don't think it's as effective. So I think the gas trap's best there. Then, for all of the small walls, we want to put wall dynamos. So on every single one of these, get wall dynamos. We're going to be doing absolutely huge damage here. Insane in the membrane. And then at the back for these, we can put wall darts. If you can look at the wall in the correct angle to make it actually let you put them down. It hates me. Don't ask me why. I don't know. On this one, I think I'm tempted to go for broadside, here. But again, I don't think it's going to bounce back and forward as we would like it to. So what I'm going to do is just do wall darts on them all. I don't think we could really effectively use broadsides in here. Just because we've got this build going, it is more damage overall than using broadside and making it work. So don't worry about, me advocating for broadsides and everything. We've used them where we can in the entrances and such. So don't worry about that. Something you could potentially do is put a wall there and put broadside on. I don't think it'd be that useful though. But yeah, that'll cover the traps. So there you go. That is the south direction for Canny Valley. Ooh, actually, before we finish, I need to put down some anti-air traps. So, like that should be good. I'm going to go ahead and put 6 down across. I think that should be plenty. Again, if you don't have these, or if you prefer a flinger shield, lobber shield would do beautifully as well. I prefer to use the anti-air traps, because, that's what they're made for, right? That's why the developers put them in. They intended us to use them, so I want to use them. But if you are having issues, some people might, just with the way the weird way that Save the World works. Sometimes different people experience different things. So if you are struggling, build a flinger lobber shield. But yeah, that'll do it. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'd also muchly appreciate it if you could like, follow, subscribe. You don't follow on YouTube, you subscribe on YouTube. If you could subscribe and also comment, if you have any thoughts. Please do so. But thank you so much for watching and making it this far through. Obviously, you're going to be using these, so let me know how much thankful you are for me for making your AFK endurance build for you. There you go. Cheers.